everyone. Welcome to our channel Biology for All. Know the difference. This is a video series created to clear the differences between terms for grade 12 students. There are certain terms that are confusing as they sound similar or have almost similar meanings. In this video, I will be explaining such terms from Chapter 3, Human Reproduction, and Chapter 4, Reproductive Health. The first difference that we are going to look into is spermatogenesis and oogenesis. To understand these terms, let us first split the words, that is spermatogenesis and oogenesis. Genesis means development or production of something. Thus, we can say that spermatogenesis is production of sperms in the male testes and oogenesis is the production of ovum in the female ovary. Spermatogenesis begins at puberty and lasts for a lifetime in males, whereas oogenesis begins before the birth of the female in the embryonic stage and ends at the age of 45 to 50. Spermatogenesis and spermiogenesis. Spermatogenesis, as mentioned earlier, is the production of sperms in the testes, whereas spermiogenesis is the process of differentiation or transformation of spermatids to sperms during spermatogenesis. The last stage after meiosis II results in the formation of haploid spermatids. These cells then transform into the sperm or spermatozoon with its head and tail. Spermiogenesis and spermiation. Spermiogenesis, as mentioned before, is a process of transformation of spermatids to sperms during spermatogenesis, whereas spermiation is the process of release of the sperms from the Sertoli cells in the testes into the lumen of the seminiferous tubules and the movement into the epididymis. The sperms, after formation, attach to the Sertoli cells for differentiation. So when they move from there, this process is called spermiation. Menstrual cycle, menstrual phase, and menstruation. The menstrual cycle is a term we use to describe the changes or the sequence of events that take place in the reproductive organs of a female for the possibility of pregnancy that happens each month. This monthly cycle, that is the menstrual cycle, is divided into different phases based on the changes in the reproductive organs. So, in this, the first phase of the menstrual cycle is called as the menstrual phase, where the endometrial lining, that is the inner lining of the uterus, is removed or shed off. Now, the periodic discharge of blood and tissue from the uterus during this menstrual phase is what we call as menstruation or menses. Menarche and Menopause. The beginning of the menstrual cycle at the age of 10 to 12, that is during puberty, is called menarche, and the termination or the end of the menstrual cycle at the age of 45 to 50 in females is called as menopause. Gestation and pregnancy. Gestation is a period of time between conception, that is fertilization, and birth. During this time, the baby grows and develops inside the mother's womb. Gestation means carrying or to carry, whereas pregnancy is the process and series of changes that take place in a woman's body and tissues as a result of the developing fetus. During a pregnancy, there can be one or more gestation occurring simultaneously, for example, in case of twins. Conception and contraception. The fertilization of an ovum with a sperm to form a zygote results in the start of pregnancy. This is called conception or the beginning, that is the formation of a conceptus or an implanted embryo. Whereas Contraception is the use of a device or procedure to prevent conception, that is, fertilization. The devices includes condoms, pills, diaphragms, etc. that will prevent the meeting of the sperm and the ovum, thus resulting in no pregnancy. GIFT and ZIFT. Infertile couples undergo assisted reproductive technique, that is art, that enable them to conceive. Gift or gamete intrafallopian transfer is a transfer of an ovum collected from a donor to the fallopian tube of another female who cannot produce one but can provide suitable environment for fertilization. This may also be used if the sperm count is low. The selected sperms and the ovum are inserted in the fallopian tube to allow fertilization. So that's why it is gamete intrafallopian transfer. Now, ZIFT or zygote intrafallopian transfer involves the transfer of the zygote or the early embryos, that is up to 8 blastomeres, into the fallopian tube. So fertilization happens outside, but the zygote or the blastocyst is implanted into the fallopian tube. IUD, IUI, and IUT. IUDs or intrauterine devices are contraceptive devices inserted inside the uterus to delay pregnancy or space children. Whereas IUI and IUT are methods of assisted reproductive technologies that help couple conceive. Intrauterine insemination or IUI is the technique where the semen is collected either from the husband or a healthy donor and artificially introduced into the uterus of the female. IUT or intrauterine transfer is a technique where the embryos with more than 8 blastomeres is transferred into the uterus to complete further development. Hope this video helped in clearing some of the confusing terms of these two chapters.